I'm going to take shorter ones if I can now. Here's an interesting one. Elisa Eldridge wants to know if news networks were honest, how much of the country would end up being conservative? There's a pretty good answer for that, I think. A simple answer, which I can get through fairly quickly. Seth MacFarlane, thank you very much. I keep saying Sean, it wasn't. It was Seth MacFarlane. I was thinking Sean Green was Seth Green. 10,000 entries of Seth MacFarlane. Thank you very much. No, the if the networks were honest, what difference would it make? In 2004, Evan Thomas, the editor of Newsweek magazine, estimated that press bias was worth 15 points for John Kerry. Now, they didn't like John Kerry very much, and they certainly didn't worship John Kerry the way they worship Barack Obama. So I think Evan Thomas is about right, about 15 points. Let's say conservatively it's worth 15 points for Barack Obama. I think it's closer to 25 points personally. I think it may be even higher than that. But I will tell you this, as a lark, one of the first afterburners I did, I took Evan Thomas at his word, and I took 15 points of media bias off of the 2008 election map with Obama versus John McCain. And if you flow 15 points away from Obama towards John McCain, Obama carries Delaware, he carries the District of Columbia, and that's it. McCain wins 49 states. Obama wins one state and the District of Columbia. And that's what happens when you flow 15 points of media bias on the election map. If there was a network that was produced by robots, see, people think I want a conservative news media. I don't want a conservative news media. I just want a news media. If you had a network that was able to assess information and deliver it by robot, so I know this is never possible, but just as an ideal, if you could distribute information about presidential shortcomings and not hide anything, not have your side hide something and their side hide something, and likewise not pile on either, but to simply report the news. And if everybody watched the news as news, without spin, without selection, and without this is the important part, without the spin of the selection bias. In other words, you think people are biased in the way they present the news, but the real bias is what gets left out of the nightly news, what doesn't get talked about. It's not even a question of how they spin the news. What did they leave out? What did they pick? Why did they choose to record these hits and not record these misses? That's where the real bias is. So if you had a robotic reporter that just reported the news, I am utterly convinced in my bones to the day I die, to my marrow, I believe, that the Democrats would never win another national election ever. Period. That's what I think.